Do not be alarmed, the Dragon Ball Super remake may have been confirmed, but they are brand new leaks by Anime AJ and Vinixis, a bunch of insider information to go over in this video, and I will be explaining to you why this could potentially be the best thing to happen to Dragon Ball Super since Dragon Ball Super. First, I want to go through the trailer, but obviously I can't let it play through completely because that would be bad for the copyright. But I can go over a bunch of information that Akio Ioku laid out in the panel, and also look at the amazing animation. So Akio Ioku, this looks almost Shintani-esque, doesn't it? But apparently Yamamoto's in charge. Maybe they brought in Shintani to do a few things like this. But apparently, according to Ioku, the goal was to make this an enhanced edition. Akio Ioku was very, very aware that the original run of Dragon Ball Super is known for having very poor animation. So with this, they went ahead and provided the best, most cutting-edge animation possible, according to Akio Ioku, which makes sense with his earlier comments about the Dragon Ball Super Galactic Patrol anime announcement, where he said that they had the best animators on it. Now, this is still Yamamoto, but you can tell with much more budget and much more pre-production time, this looks a lot better. Now, I would be more disappointed about this because this is basically the fourth time we're getting the Battle of Gods animated. No, well, third time we're getting Battle of Gods animated. Fourth time we're getting it told because of the manga arc. However, according to Akio Ioku, and just look at how gorgeous this is. According to Akio Ioku, we are going to be getting exclusive and never-before-seen content that comes straight from Akira Toriyama, that maybe just didn't have time to make it into the anime or movie, or maybe just brand new stuff that Akira Toriyama wanted to work in here. Now, the interesting thing is, according to insider information that we're going to get to, they are also going to be including stuff from the manga. Not too much stuff, but I'm assuming just enough stuff so that whenever we actually get to the Galactic Patrol arc in the anime, and we get to, of course, the Granola stuff, it will make more sense with regards to the power levels and things like that. So, for example, maybe we could see Goku using Destruction against Zamasu, something like that. Maybe we could see Goku Black going Super Saiyan. So this isn't exactly an adaptation of the manga. From what I'm understanding, it'll take a few things from the manga, but it'll mostly be a remaster of the anime with a little bit of new Akira Toriyama content and a little bit new manga content, and of course we'll get into that in the leaks. So from what I'm understanding, Beerus in this movie is going to be portrayed much more seriously and much more sadistic, from what I'm understanding. Now, maybe that's just them playing it up for the panel, and he isn't going to be all that much more evil, because at the end of the day, he still has to be the Beerus we know from Dragon Ball Super. That way, whenever we get to the Moro arc and we get to the Granola arc, it'll make sense that Beerus and Whis are there training Goku and Vegeta. I believe what they were actually trying to imply in the panel is that Beerus is going to be portrayed as much more powerful here than he was in Battle of Gods, because in Battle of Gods you kind of got the impression that Goku was pretty close to him and in terms of power, and then whenever Super kept going on, people kind of were complaining about that, like, well, Beerus should have been passed up by now. So that might be more motivation for them doing this. Besides the fact, of course, that Dragon Ball Super is known for having horrible, horrible, horrible animation. Absolutely dreadful animation, especially in these early episodes. Another thing that I found interesting was this thing is called Dragon Ball Super Beerus, and we'll get in more into why that may be in the leaks section of the video, because it is a lot of crazy information. So yeah, if you are keeping up with the leaks, if you have been keeping up with the leaks, there you go. Videl holding the hands out straight up from the leaked material. Then we have Super Saiyan God Goku, who looks absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous. They actually did a good job here. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of mixed opinions on this, which is why I believe they announced the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc first. This is probably, well, it's definitely launching in fall 2026. And then, according to Anime AJ, the Galactic Patrol stuff is looking to premiere in 2027. So I believe what they're going to do is possibly just keep going with Dragon Ball Super, remastering everything, and then go straight into the Galactic Patrol. And they wanted to basically prepare people for Dragon Ball Super Beerus, because obviously you don't want to start the show off and set the bad tone. So I believe they're just letting us know we're getting to the Galactic Patrol eventually. Hold your horses. Now let's go over Anime AJ's tweets exactly. So here we go, Anime AJ breaking his silence on the Dragon Ball Super remake. He says, fun fact, this was called Dragon Ball Super Kai internally. You'll find Battle of Gods is now 6 episodes long. The Golden Frieza arc will follow the same length later. It's a remaster, not a full remake. A more ambitious version of Fishman Island remastered, really. Hashtag Genki Damatsuri. Then he goes on to say, Tadayoshi Yamamuro is still in charge, but you'll find the likes of Yuya Takahashi, Ryo Onishi, and Takeo Ide involved, which I did notice the clear inspiration with different animators there as well. The new scenes are very nice. The OG Episode 5 was redone. It will also include light manga elements such as Goku's image training in Chapter 1. So stay tuned, the story is still developing. We have more information from Vinixis and then an official announcement from the people over at Dragon Ball Super. Vinixis says, so yeah, it'll be a mix of both anime and manga, but look forward to something extra. Don't go overboard with expectations, but yes, there's some never before seen content in there. And then here we go, a Toon Raider cameo. Follow me on Twitter. He said, so it's only Battle of Gods and Resurrection F? Vinixis says, nope. The Universe 6-7 saga is also in production. Then I say, so they're just remaking Super to lead into the moral stuff, but I'm a bit confused with the wording. Beerus and Galactic Patrol being in the titles. The Super anime will receive a new subtitle with each arc as it's ongoing then. He says, I don't know, MCU style, LMAO. And then, here he is posting an official statement from Dragon Ball Super. The anime Dragon Ball Super, for which Akira Toriyama handled the original work, story, and character designs, starts anew as Dragon Ball Super Beerus. In this work, the story is enhanced through the addition of significant new cuts, redraws, and a restructuring of the narrative. It appears here as an enhanced version that provides further immersion in battle scenes and a more precise reproduction of the original work through the latest visual expressions. Beginning with the broadcast of the enhanced Dragon Ball Super Beerus, the Dragon Ball Super franchise is making a major new start. We invite fans to look forward to new developments with high expectations. So yeah, this was the final announcement of the big 3 panels, and there's a lot to break down. Obviously, remaking the entirety of Dragon Ball Super may not sound exciting at first, but hear me out. You are going to be watching this regardless. It is still new Dragon Ball content regardless. We're going to get a few new Akira Toriyama tidbits included in here. We're going to get some stuff from the manga, which is exciting, and who knows what we could get. Now, they will still need to be adding new stuff into the video games, so maybe they'll add stuff from the manga into this anime to adapt to the video games, such as Super Saiyan Goku Black. A few small things like that could be exciting until we get to the Mora arc, which Anime AJ, in my previous video, I talked about how Anime AJ confirmed it is coming in 2027, or at least that's what he's hearing. So I guess what the plan would be is for them to start with Beerus in fall 2026, and then redo the Resurrection F stuff, and then the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 stuff, and then Goku Black, then the Tournament of Power, and then if they're redoing Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, they are probably most definitely going to redo Dragon Ball Super Broly, which I would be very excited for because we would get more stuff from Akira Toriyama's original script, which was cut. So there's going to be an expansion of Super Broly, which I would be very excited about. It seems like they're going to go in that direction. And then we would probably be getting Dragon Ball Super Superhero, but that would definitely probably come after the Galactic Patrol arc, from what I'm understanding. Because if you follow the timeline, it would go the Dragon Ball Super Broly adaptation, then we would get into the Galactic Patrol stuff, then Granola, then Superhero. So this could be the dawn of a new beginning. Now, a big concern I have right off the bat is, where's the manga? Now, as I'm recording this, Dragon Ball Genki Damatsuri is still ongoing. I guess there's still hope that they would announce the return of the manga. but I'm going to be in bed by the time this event is over. I'll be awake, and I'll go over it and see if they announce the return of the manga in some of the other panels. Probably the weekly Dragon Ball news update, but probably not from what I'm understanding. They talked about how they're going to be announcing new merchandise, so they're probably not going to be announcing the return of the Dragon Ball Super manga there. The Dragon Ball Super manga definitely needs to return for this to actually pop off and do as well as they want it to. So in order for that to happen, they need the Dragon Ball Super manga to continue adapting, because if they go past Moro and they go to Granola and they have that Black Frieza moment, that needs to get paid off. There's no way in the world they would end this anime on a Black Frieza cliffhanger, and then what? We would be in a very bad situation. So I hope they have a plan to bring the Dragon Ball Super manga back. Me talking about that now, maybe that'll age poorly. Maybe I'll wake up in 6 hours and then boom, there's the Dragon Ball Super manga announcement return. Who knows? But if it's not announced now, hopefully they announce it before things get a little too carried away. And then we go back to the original Dragon Ball Super schedule where the anime and manga are racing each other. Anyways, guys, there's your Dragon Ball Super remake coverage. Pretty exciting. I'm a little excited, I'll be honest. At least we're going to be getting Dragon Ball on air. And I'll be releasing reviews and discussing it and talking about things, comparing the manga and the anime and this new anime. It'll be pretty exciting. Anyways, guys, that will be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all things news and commentary. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace off.